Well, Coach Lauren, this first week of the season here, new group of faces here you're going to rely on a lot more than the past years. Like, I think 6 newcomers overall. And also like several people back there are maybe new roles as far as playing more time and doing more offensive production here. Talk about how the team has kind of evolved so far this first 3 weeks of the year.
They've exceeded expectation, which is good. You know, for having so many newcomers and so many returners who haven't necessarily seen really consistent starting time, we thought it would be a little bit messy in the first few weeks, but they actually play really well together. They're very focused. The returners have really stepped up off the court and integrated our new players. And the newcomers want to be good, which is usually half the battle. And so I'm actually pleased with where we're at. We can really pinpoint what we're doing well and what we're struggling with. Oftentimes that takes a little longer than a couple weeks, so I'm happy with where we're at.
Those first 2 weeks plus of practice though is pretty grueling. How did this team handle those 3-day routine?
That was probably the weakness. We really got beat up in the first few weeks. Just with so many newcomers, they don't really know what to expect and their bodies weren't quite ready for it. So we've been pretty beat up, but we're hoping in the next 2 weeks to have our full squad back, at least practicing. So, you know, we only have 14, and so everybody needs to contribute.
So last weekend was the alumni match, all the famous faces from the recent years with you and also some other people back from previous decades. How'd that turn out for the team?
It was great. The alumni team played really well this year, and we've got, you know, 2 of them going to play professionally. This week, actually, they're leaving, and so many of them are coaching now, and so they continue to play and they get better. So it was such a great starting point for us. Statistically, we looked really, really strong, but it was definitely a challenge. They didn't just hand it over to us, and it wasn't messy volleyball. So I was pleased. It was a great test, and I think we looked pretty good.
I mean, you had a chance to actually coach against Holly for a while. Holly was trying to take the coach's seat. Were you watching her, trying to mimic you a little?
No, I paid no attention to Holly. I've gotten used to that over the last year and a half of how to tune her out, but I do love her dearly.
Jamie the Immortal had the 19 kills approximately there, had a big, you know, as far as offense for 4 sets there. Rate how she kind of adjusted to that situation last week.
Well, Jamie keeps surprising me, and you know, she hasn't been as physical as a lot of the players that we've had, and so she's struggled offensively over, you know, the last 3 years. But she came in, man, and she's ready to play. She's hitting hard. She's so much. You see the level of experience and how much that changes a game. And I mean, she was really unbelievable. She's practicing that well every day. So I think she could finally make a really good impact for us.
You had a new setter there, Yelena there, helping out, switching out with Brooke there in the match. Or talk about both of their play last week.
Well, it sure is nice to have 2 good setters, and Yelly is more experienced than Brooke, and it shows in some parts of the game. Brooke's got a world of potential, and they're both challenging each other and pushing each other, and they make our hitters pretty good. So, I mean, Yelly, she really had our hitters playing well. I think when she was setting, our hitters were hitting like a 340, so really high efficiency. And Brooke was good too. So I really like where we're at with the setting. It makes such a difference.
Yeah, 3 different liberos play, each a different set they're starting. Talk about their play each individually.
All 3 will contribute a lot this season. They'll all get playing time. We'll find a way to get them all on the court. You know, they're all different as far as level of passing is concerned, and Maggie Upright is our best passer right now. But they all are defensively really savvy, and every time they were on the court, you know, we're picking up things that people thought were going down. So we're going to be a very defensive-oriented team. This team looks very different than any of my teams in the past. So they're not as imposing, they're not as intimidating, but they play decent volleyball.
Talk about some of the other newcomers who played last week and how they did it. As far as you mentioned Jackie, you mentioned Yelena, but anybody else like Carly or et cetera played?
Carly is going to be a very good player for Fresno State. She's going to make a huge impact here. She just has a lot of footwork issues that we're working through, and she's trying to learn everything at this point. But she's a big physical kid, and she can really pass too. So she needs some time, but once she gets there, she'll do great. Lauren Torres is fighting for a starting position in her freshman year. She's touches higher than any of our other hitters. She's really big. She again is trying to learn all the footwork patterns and learn how to transition at this level and be an attacker. So she's going to do great. When it clicks for her, she's going to be a really, really good player.
So on Friday, you open up against Louisiana Lafayette, a 19-win team last year. Talk about what you know about them.
We haven't done our scouting on the upcoming teams quite yet, but the first tournament we're really focused on ourselves and just trying to get kind of cleaner volleyball out of each other. And defensively, what we're struggling with is, just our block and making sure that we're cleaning that stuff up. So the first tournament, it's about that. We're not going to have a lot on Louisiana early on or any of the teams. So we're just going out to play well and see what issues we need so we're prepared for fall.
I look forward to see the team. They open up at 2 o'clock West Coast time on Friday, 4 o'clock if you're in the Lone Star State with the Dogs there, and they play again twice on Saturday against UC Davis and also host Rice. So go Dogs.
We're excited. Go Dogs.